Hi everybody, this is Joe Contrera and welcome back to the Alive at Work Leadership video blog. You know, sometimes I don't know if I should call it a blog or a vlog, and then I realize nobody really cares what you call it as long as the content is good. So let's jump into this week's content. What we're going to talk about this week is we're going to talk about the difference between knowledge and wisdom and why you need both. I think a lot of people confuse knowledge with wisdom. We actually include the words experience and education in the definition of knowledge. And while you can acquire knowledge in a number of different ways, I believe we need to be a little bit more specific in defining the difference between those two words. Here's why. We have all met the well-read person who in every situation has an answer or an opinion. They may have a number of initials after their name, which many times is simply their effort to inform everyone else of just how smart they are. And while initials can inform others of one's qualifications, which can be important, especially when we're talking about maybe accountants, financial planners, to me, initials can be like titles. Meaning, just because you're a CIO, just because you're a CEO or a VP or a manager, it doesn't make you a leader. Just because you have PhD after your name, it doesn't make you a great doctor either. Now, if we go back in time to BC, not referring to before Christ, I'm referring to before COVID. Do you remember sitting in a meeting room and watching your leader, your colleague, your peer dominate the entire conversation? Every time someone said anything, they had a rebuttal, an addition, an edit, or an answer for everything, no matter what was said. Or they would preface their response with the very casual, very smug, I've been a leader for... Or, I've been an engineer for 20 years, and in my previous employment at blah, 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 because nobody cares except for them, just like nobody cares what initials are after their name. See, I refer to these people as spitters, not because they just spit out garbage and junk. Spitter is actually an acronym, and it stands for the smartest person in the room. For the last 6 months on Facebook and social media or cable television networks, we have witnessed time and time again that everyone seems to be an expert on COVID-19, even though we really don't have any experience with COVID-19. This is all new. I also understand that most people are trying to help, and they have no ill intentions. And yet, there are some folks who just like to stir the garbage up and instill fear, while there are others who simply like to hear themselves talk or see themselves on social media, how many likes they get, how many replies they receive. What I think we need, now more than ever, is a different category of intelligence to discern and separate the truth from the garbage. It's simply called wisdom, and it's normally acquired by experience. You see, what I believe that what we are seeking and what we need now more than ever is wisdom. You see, wisdom is all about having or showing experience. It's about having good judgment, and sadly, the world right now needs, because we seem to be lacking, a whole lot of good judgment. Having wisdom allows you to step back and look at what your experience tells you. It is typically simple in nature, and as I've said many times before, truths are simple. It's only when we complicate things, when we have hidden agendas, or we're trying to manipulate or deceive others, that it seems to get overly complicated. It is when we have no knowledge and yet pretend that we do, or that we have no experience, yet we pretend that we do, that we're not exhibiting knowledge or experience, but simply exhibiting ignorance. Now that said, I'm not saying only knowledge is good or only wisdom is good. I'm also not saying only knowledge is bad or wisdom is bad. I think that would be an unwise statement to make. What I am saying is that we need a combination of both. We need knowledge and we need wisdom in order to work through these challenges that we're all facing in life. Now you might ask, so Joe, why is this so important to me? Here's why. Your ability to discern between what Thomas Jefferson once referred to as diamonds and dunghill, which is simply basically the truth, the brilliance, the diamonds, and the garbage, the crap. Now, what that means for you is, are you acquiring knowledge? Are you learning? Are you reading? Are you studying? Are you seeking knowledge to understand? Or do you simply regurgitate what you've heard on Facebook or what you've heard on the news? And depending on whether you listen to CNN or Fox, you hear two completely different stories. So the first is, where are you seeking? Where are you building your knowledge from? And the second is, in order to gain wisdom, you have to gain experience. Now, the cool thing about wisdom is that we can borrow other people's experiences in order to gain wisdom, or I should say gain knowledge. But why wouldn't we listen to the wisdom of someone else, especially when they have a different opinion, they have a different outlook or a different experience? They have wisdom from another perspective. But when we close ourselves off from that, we're basically closing ourselves off from gaining wisdom from others. Lots of stuff to think about, and I'll leave you with those two questions. Where are you gaining and seeking knowledge? And how are you building wisdom through other people's experiences? Lots of stuff to think about. Until next time, be safe and be well.